Hey y'all, it's Megan. Thanks for stopping on over to another video. Today we are going to be following up on the last video and we are going to go over the Ultimatum Queer Love episodes 4 through 7. I'm so excited to finally discuss Hookup Gate and finally be in the know because I was trying to avoid spoilers and they were just kind of all over the place. And yesterday is when the newest episodes, like the rest of the season, dropped, and I've already, I opened YouTube and the first thing I saw was like a half spoiler, so I closed out really fast. So I have to film today and then I have to go binge the rest of the season so that we can discuss that next. Because I didn't want to watch it and then have my opinion, and this kind of changed during this video. I wanted to discuss strictly episodes 4 through 7 and not have any extra knowledge or anything like that. So that's what we're gonna do today. And to avoid a hopefully avoid a 45-minute video again, because last week's was only supposed to be like 20 minutes. I think what we're gonna do is I'm going to discuss all of the, trial marriage couples, how they are doing throughout the episodes. And then I'll go over the 3 major drama points of these episodes, including Hookup Gate. And then we'll kind of go back to the OG couples because I believe it's episode 7. I believe it's episode 6 and 7. It's the changeover where they all go back to their original couples and they kind of discuss how their trial marriages went. Then we'll be done. And then I'll go binge the rest of the season and I'll be back in another 5 to 10 business days. Except I think this one might actually be uploaded a little bit sooner than I had said, and I'm proud of myself for that. But without further ado, let's discuss the drama. Guys, a lot of fucking stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened these last few episodes. Okay, so let's go to the trial marriage couples. Just know, I might briefly go over some of the drama things that happened, but I'm going to go into those deeper right after I go through the breakdown of all the couples, how they're doing throughout the episodes. Okay, let's start with Bridget and Ashley. We still don't see a whole lot of them, probably because they're kind of unproblematic, but we do see Ashley kind of, we all feel bad for Ashley because Ashley has been through some trauma stuff in her life with an abusive ex-girlfriend, and I don't know, you can also just tell that she feels bad because no one ever thinks that she's doing enough, that she's romantic enough. And I've had some time to marinate on the whole Ashley and Marita situation, and Marita wanting, big grand gestures, and Ashley being more low-key in the way that she gives love. Both of those things are totally fine. I want Marita to find someone who gives her those big grand gestures, all that she wants. And I want Ashley to find someone who who values the little things more than the big grand gestures. I think both are totally fine. I think both, however you receive love, however you give love, I love that for you, and there is a person for you. I just don't think that theirs go well together. But I feel bad because Ashley, I don't know you. I don't know your relationship, but if you are giving your all, that is enough. And it's okay if the person that you're with is not the person that you should be with. Y'all are both valid. Okay, so Ashley and Bridget, like I said, we don't really see a whole lot of them, but from what we do see, they're sweet together. I like their communication. I don't see anything super romantic. I know there are a couple of little flirty comments here and there, but I'm sensing more friendship vibes. Kyle and Pilar, at the beginning, I really, really rooted for them. I thought they were going to go strong, and then there was a situation that happened, which we don't see, because the editors, they didn't want us to see it for some reason. So we just kind of cut to after, I guess, one of the nights, Pilar kissed Kyle. Kyle was really uncomfortable with it. They felt really bad about the situation and doing that to Bridget, because even though they're exes, they're not really freaking exes. They're still with their partners of forever. So she feels really bad, and I go back and forth on this situation. If like if either one of them is actually like in the wrong, because people are kind of picking sides on this situation. We don't see how it happens. The way it's kind of described is that Kyle had said, no, I don't want to kiss, and then later on in the night, I guess they were vibing and Pilar kissed Kyle and Kyle kissed Pilar back. But we do see later that Kyle is a people pleaser and was likely just kind of doing that to avoid hurting feelings. I don't like how blamey Pilar was of Kyle in that situation. Like, you were giving me mixed signals, like basically like you were asking for it. I didn't like it. But again, I didn't see that situation. Later, Kyle just kind of, you know, apologizes and takes ownership. But I don't know if that is because Kyle is a people pleaser and was just trying to avoid the conflict, because we see that later that, like, Kyle has always avoided conflict. And we also see while they are meeting, there's some meet the parents situations happening here, or meet the family or friends, whatever. But Pilar meets Kyle's parents, and we learn that Kyle's mom gave Kyle's dad an ultimatum forever ago. So it's kind of funny that they're in that situation. And you also don't really think about, like, your parents getting an ultimatum, whatever. And then we also learned that Kyle's mom is also very conflict avoidant and doesn't really speak what's in their mind. She doesn't really speak what's in her mind. And so Kyle kind of picked up on that. A lot of Kyle's traits that you're kind of like, Kyle, what are you doing that for? They get them directly from their parents. But overall, they seem sweet. Towards the end, they're more friendly. You can tell that after the kiss situation, it's kind of donezo romantically, and they're just kind of friends. There are some awkward moments, but it seems like they're kind of in a better place now. But overall, Kyle's family was really sweet to Pilar, basically giving Pilar a pep talk. It was a really sweet moment, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that Pilar got that kind of like parental love that she's been missing the last couple of years. Okay, I'm gonna go this way first. So then we have AJ and Marie. They also seem to be really good at the beginning, and then we find out that AJ has been twice AJ snuck out in the middle of the night to go talk to Brittany. I really didn't like this at first, and I still don't like it for Marie. I feel bad for Marie because she feels like, you know, AJ's not going full into the experience. But I also do understand, because Brittany was having a hard time in a lot of these episodes, being away from AJ. And like I said earlier, they're still really partners. Like, in real life, they're partners. Yes, they're in a trial marriage, but these people have still been together for years. And so when she's having a hard time, AJ goes to comfort her. We don't see them get together or like talk or do anything. We don't see AJ and Brittany go, but we do see like AJ leaving, and we see AJ come back. So I don't know what happened. I don't particularly know. Marie looked dead inside when AJ told her, and I felt really bad. And this whole situation just makes Marie feel really alone, because Marie's also having a real hard time being separated from Mel. Marie, you can do better. But Marie just feels really alone, and it leads to this like really sad scene.
Will you marry me? Yes! Yes!
I don't know. I felt bad. But overall, another friendshipy couple. I think AJ does really well comforting Marie whenever Marie's having such a bad time. Especially when Marie finds out about what has been deemed hookup gate. Okay, so then we'll go to Marita and Brittany. And then I'm gonna work my way back up here. So Marita and Brittany, again, super friendship vibes. I really like them though, because Brittany is showing Marita those big grand gestures that she really is craving, and just kind of showing her everything she could have in a relationship. Brittany even cooks Marita some oxtail, which we find out from AJ was a boundary that they have. Marita, or AJ and Brittany agreed that Brittany would not be cooking her partner oxtail. she did. But they just seem really sweet. I don't feel anything really super romantic there. There were a couple of times where I was kind of feeling like Rita had a thing for Brittany. But I think that was just, again, like maybe it's either a friendship love or just like the idea of what her future could be with a partner who's willing to provide these like big things for her. That's what I think. Then we have Megan and Haley. I love them. I love them so much. I just lost my whole train of thought because I love them so much. So bear with me, hold on. Okay, so the loves of my life, Megan and Haley, they're doing great from the get-go. Early on, they do sleep together, and they're kind of all in. It made their connection. They said it made their connection a lot stronger, which makes sense. Usually, having sex does that. But they went all in, and towards the end, they even said that they're in love with each other. Like they're in love with each other. They told each other that. I love them. Again, I know it's a reality show. I know it's only been 3 weeks, and I don't care. I love them, and I love that for them, and I want them to get married and have babies. So they just talk about kind of everything. They talk about like the little things that make them feel loved, the little like turn-ons that they have, like their fears, their traumas, their everything, and I love it. Haley meets Megan's friends, and they all seem to really freaking love Haley and how happy Megan seems, because she does. You can tell throughout the series she's coming out of her shell. She's feeling more confident. I love that for her. And then Megan meets Haley's family. They really like Megan, but Haley and Pilar have been together for 10 years, and they love Pilar. So you can tell they're really shocked at kind of how fast they're finding each other, like how close they're becoming so fast. But they do seem to like Megan. They're just, trying to process everything. And then we have Mel and Dana. May a Mel and a Dana never find me. I don't want any part of it. I had to come over to this side because it felt weird over there. Like, right when episode 6 starts, I believe it's episode 6, it opens with Mel and Dana in the room, and it just cuts to moaning audio coming from their room, and it stayed on those moans for way too long. I was so uncomfy, and I was also screaming at my TV. I was screaming. But it cuts to that, and then at one point you also see Dana like go topless, and then she runs to the bedroom, and Mel takes off her shoes and follows her, and so they definitely hooked up. Which, whatever. So they seem to really get along, so much so that Mel ate gum out of Dana's mouth, which is disgusting. We don't actually see that, we just hear about it. And they seem to be really vibing, getting it off. It does seem to be on a more lustful surface level. They do discuss fears and whatnot, but I don't think either of them really listens. Mel and Dana both, they like to tell each other how the other is feeling. Like, Dana will, instead of being like, how are you feeling? She'll be like, Mel, you are feeling this way. And Mel will also be like, Dana, you are feeling this way. This is how you feel. I don't like that. You're not in my head. You don't know how I feel. And so it's just an icky kind of weird dynamic. And also, I didn't like this.
You want to come or leave?
That phrasing made me uncomfy. And at one point, Mel does meet Dana's family, and it does not go nearly as well as any of the other ones, in my opinion. It just feels super uncomfy, and Mel's acting like she's hot shit, and just, I don't think that Dana's family's really vibing with Mel, and they do say they love Megan, and that Megan makes Dana a better person. And that's when the phone call happens. Whenever all the ultimatum givers meet up with each other and all the ultimatum receivers meet up with each other at this little hangout night, Dana basically goes after Haley and is like, I don't know, I don't even know who this girl is anymore. She's not the same Megan that came in when we started. She's regressing, which is bullshit because she's getting so much more confident. She's feeling herself so much more. You can just tell she's happier. But anyway, Dana says that Megan's regressing and basically insinuates that it's all Haley's fault. And then Dana goes off about a phone call that her and Megan had, because apparently, and we only see Dana's, like, the last half of this conversation and on Dana's side. But Dana basically says that she called Megan because she missed her so much. She was feeling awful. She was way too overwhelmed. She called her crying, and Dana says she never cries and she never asks for help. But she asked Megan, please, will you please talk to me? I wanna leave with you, or I don't remember exactly what she said, but she made it seem like she was asking for help, and Megan said, like, fuck you, like, have a safe flight home, I don't want to talk to you, like, I hate you. She was saying all this wild stuff, and we don't see any of that. All we see is Dana on the phone and is saying, why are you speaking to me like this? I don't understand. What did I do? And then she's just crying. And then whenever it's Megan at the ultimatum receiver dinner, Mel's also there. Mel takes Megan to the side and is like, how could you do this? I know if my partner really needed me, I would be right there, which is bullshit because she couldn't even say hi to Marie, but it's fine. It's fine. But she's like, you couldn't even help her, like, she needed you. And Megan said, how am I supposed to know that she needed me? Because all she did was call me and say, I want to break up with you, fuck you, I'm going home. And Mel says, yeah, but you know how Dana is. You know that's just how she is. And Megan says, yeah, but that doesn't mean I have to enable it. Good for you, Megan. Good for you. Because it doesn't mean that you have to enable it. Okay? If she's saying, I want to break up, fuck you, I want to go, like, I'm going home, all this stuff, and you say, have a safe flight, I get it, but it's fine. It's just a TV show. Okay, so Mel basically blames Megan for everything. Dana basically blames Haley for everything. It's just a big old mess. And also at some point, Mel tells Dana that she could totally see herself getting married because, if you do love someone so much, why wouldn't you want to spend forever with them? Hello? You've been with Marie for 4 years. 4 years, y'all own a business together. And it took you 3 days with Dana to be like, oh, I guess I could see myself getting married. Because if someone makes me happy, why wouldn't I want to spend forever with them? Why are you with Marie then? Why are you with Marie? And then to add to the drama, right before the end, right before the frickin' switch off, Mel and Dana get matching tattoos. And Dana says that, like Megan and Dana agreed before coming on this show that if they make it out together, they'll get matching tattoos because Megan's always wanted matching tattoos. And then Dana goes and gets a freaking 4-leaf clover with Mel? What you doing? What are you doing? But it's fine because now now we're going to discuss in depth the drama that happened. Okay, so the first drama that happened, I already actually talked about in much more detail than I meant to. I just can't stop talking. And that was the Kyle and Pilar kiss that I'm still unsure how I feel about. And I hope that at some point we get some more clarification on this situation. Because even when Kyle was talking about it to Bridget, she wasn't acting like it was just Pilar. But Bridget also understands that Kyle's a people pleaser, and I think they'll be fine. I'm actually really rooting for Kyle and Bridget. I'm not gonna lie. But that whole kiss, well, that was the first drama I was talking about. And then the second and the third, the second and the third drama items they kind of go in together. So the first being what has been deemed hookup gate, because, well, we already know Megan and Haley sleep together. We, as an audience, can very much guess that Dana and Mel slept together based on the clips that we heard, or the clips that we saw and the moaning that we heard. Okay, but during the ultimatum giver dinner hangout sesh, Haley goes up to Marie and is like, hey, I got receipts that show that Dana and Mel are hooking up. Like, they are for sure hooking up. And she doesn't go into much detail, but Marie is freaking out. So Marie says, I need to talk. I need to go find Mel right now. I will scream up and down these hallways, scream at her name until she opens her door and I find her apartment. And I'm just yelling, like, yes, get her, Marie, get her. So Marie and Mel talk, and Mel looks so freaking guilty. Mel's face, she can't even look at Marie. But she tells Marie that they didn't sleep together. That Dana and Mel, that they didn't sleep together.
Have you guys fucked? Are you lying?
Liar. And so Marie's like, well, what proof would she have then? Because Haley came up to me and said that she has receipts, that she has hard proof that y'all slept together. And Mel's like, what proof would she even have? And Marie says, I don't know. So you're telling me right now, you're telling me to my face, you did not sleep with her. And Mel goes, no. No. Can't even look at her. Okay. After Mel meets with Marie, she goes up to Dana and they're talking, and she's like, Marie says she has some kind of proof. And Dana says, what, they hack into our cameras? Are they spying on us? Like, what proof could they have? I don't think that's what you would say if you weren't sleeping together. I'm just saying, I feel like there would be some sort of denial and not, how do they know? Are they spying on us? What do they have to spy on? I wonder. And at the changeover table, Dana is saying that her and Mel found like this crazy sense of comfort and vulnerability together that she doesn't believe that many people would be able to find in their lifetime, which is crazy. Like, one, y'all definitely slept together if you're feeling that. But then also, wild thing to say right in front of everybody, including your current partners. Like, no thanks. So then at the changeover table, whenever all the couples are together and they're about to switch back on over to their real partners, or their OG partners, Haley and Megan bring it up, which leads to the third piece of drama. So Megan and Haley bring up at the changeover that they were just sitting in their living room with TV, and the TV turns on and it opens up Spotify on Dana and Mel's Spotify accounts. And in the Spotify is just a bunch of sex playlists that they had created, including Dana had made Megan some playlists, and Dana took all the songs she'd made for the Megan's playlist and put them in a Mel playlist, and just a bunch of sex. Like, that was the proof right, that they were sleeping together, was the sex playlist. And right before this, like, Megan and Dana and Mel were like, they were being so combative to everybody at the changeover table. They were being nasty, like we thought there was gonna be some fights breaking out. And then as soon as they said that, Dana shut up real fast. Both of them just, she goes silent real fast, and it's just like, okay, babe, I understand. This is a conversation that we should have in private and not in front of everyone else. Yeah, Dana? Is that how you feel, Dana? Well, America's watching. Well, actually, I think the whole world's watching, so sorry. And I'm unsure how I feel about this part, because at one point when Dana and Mel and Marie and Megan and Haley, like, they're all going back and forth about the fact that Haley said that she has proof that Mel and Dana are fucking. Haley at one point says, no, I never said that. Or Megan said that she never said that there was proof or that there were receipts. But she did. I watched it back, and she definitely did in fact say that. So I'm not sure why she's saying that it wasn't. But the proof was definitely the Spotify playlist. I don't think it's like, you know, like set in stone, definitely for sure proof, but it's definitely a strong indication, you know. But I didn't know how I felt about that, because you absolutely did say you had receipts. Don't make Marie seem like a liar. I don't like that. We're not going to throw Marie under the bus. I actually really like Marie. Okay? I like her. Now we are at changeover time, where everyone gets to back to their OG couples, and we're gonna kind of discuss the last bits of that, how that went, before I go finish the rest of the season and then come back to y'all, and we can talk about the rest of it. But I'll be right back while I go change up all these couples again. Okay, so we're back to our original couples. A lot of people are not very happy. But we'll start with Marita and Ashley, because I thought it was really funny. Right after the changeover and the whole Dana, May, and Mel, Marie thing happened and everyone was screaming at each other, Ashley just says to Marita, you know, I'm just glad we have a respectful relationship. Me too. Y'all may have differences and you may not be the best match, but at least you're respectful and you don't do that, because that whole situation, like, if you haven't watched it yet, I don't know why you're watching this. I don't, but if you haven't watched it yet, you need to watch it, because it was crazy. But Marita and Ashley, again, I've already really said my feelings, and I stand by them, that I don't think either one of them is necessarily in the wrong. I just don't think that they're good together. I think that they both need to find people who more matches their speed, and that's okay. But whenever they were talking, I don't particularly think either one was listening. They were just, or they weren't like fully absorbing everything. They were more just listening to respond. And it wasn't a totally productive conversation, and I just think you should part ways. Then we have AJ and Brittany. They were so cute when they got back together. Oh, they were all up on each other. I love them so much up until AJ basically said she wants a housewife, and that's not who Brittany is. She's like, I would never dream of making you give up your business, is basically what she said. But I did really enjoy all these like stay-at-home wife things that Marie was doing for me. And Brittany has her own whole business. Like, Brittany bought the house that they're living in. Like, Brittany is she's working hard, okay? And so I didn't love that. I don't think Brittany particularly loved that. But besides, until that situation, I thought, okay, y'all are solid. I still think they're kind of solid. I think they need to discuss that further and kind of come to an agreement on that. But I think they're kind of cute. Then we have Pilar and Haley, who I cried. I cried when I watched this. Whenever they were discussing their partnerships, they discussed the kiss with Kyle, and then Haley discussed sleeping with Megan, and then that like Pilar started kind of breaking down, and I started crying. And then she asked Haley if she loved Megan, and Haley said yes, and she was kind of, and when she said yes, Pilar died. Like, she was dying inside. You could tell she was so sad. Because they've been together for 10 years. And you've been together for, like, I love Megan and Haley. I do. But they've been together for 10 years and 3 weeks for you to realize that you're in love with someone else. It broke me. And it kind of brings it back, like, earlier on, a few episodes ago. Pilar had said to Kyle, like, if I come out of this in love with someone else or feeling how I feel about my current partner, that says more about my current relationship than it does about the new partner. Which is kind of the case, because Haley fell in love with someone else, and that does say more about their relationship than anything else. And it just broke me. Pilar was not taking it well. And Haley was kind of like beaming when she was talking about Megan, and I'm like, yeah, good for you, but why are you like beaming and happy to your partner whose heart is breaking because her girlfriend of 10 years is not in it anymore? Like, then Haley tried to hug Pilar, and Pilar was like, get off, like, stop. And Haley tried again, because she's used to comforting her. They've been each other's people for 10 years, and I can imagine that was just super hard on both ends. I don't know how that's gonna end, but I feel very bad. I feel very bad for Pilar in that scene. Then we have Kyle and Bridget. Bridget didn't take the kiss thing too well initially, but they did both talk. They do say they both have problems with conflict avoidance, and I think they did really well to kind of push past that anxiety for conflict for this conversation, and they discussed it multiple times until eventually Bridget was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, let's just get past it. And again, I'm super rooting for them. I hope they do the best. Like, I love them. Then we have Mel and Marie. Marie says that she's very disappointed in Haley for how everything went, and saying she had proof when it was just like a Spotify playlist. And Marie believes Mel when Mel says that her and Dana, you know, teetered the edge, but they never went all the way because they both love their partner so much. Bullshit. Bullshit. But anyway, Marie believes it. And then Marie also sees the matching tattoo, and she flips out a little bit. And it makes me so sad. She's like, Dana's always gonna be in my life, isn't she? And that hurts me. Because no, if you don't want her in your life, she shouldn't be in your life. Marie, I think you deserve so much better. Marie, I think Mel needs to work on herself, and I don't like how much she's lying to Marie. Marie doesn't deserve that. And that's about where we are with that. Marie believes Mel. And it makes me mad because I've seen the footage, and at this point, Marie's also seen the footage. I cannot wait for this reunion, you guys. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, which leaves us with Megan and Del. Nope. Megan, which leaves us with Megan and Dana, who not doing well after the changeover. Megan basically says she's done. She's done with Dana. It's all bullshit. And Dana's like, so it's just over. You don't want this to work? No. But then, not 15 TV show minutes later, it's kind of seeming like Megan is willing to give Dana some conversation and talk about it, which is fine. Communication's great. Love it. But I hope she doesn't get manipulated or gaslit or anything like that. But then Megan kind of seems like she's willing to talk it through and try to make things work with Dana, which I didn't love, but it's your life, girlies. But then Megan tells Dana that her and Haley slept together and that she's in love with her, and Dana's done. Dana goes into the bathroom crying, calls her mom, and is like, I'm leaving. I'm done. So we'll see if she actually leaves. I'm sure she doesn't. But I'm excited to see what happens, and that's about it. I missed a lot of things because I can't go bit for bit for bit for each of the episodes, or all 3 of these episodes in one video, or I'm sure I could, but you don't want to hear me talk for 5 hours. Y'all barely want to hear me talk for 45 minutes. And that's fair. I don't want to hear me talk for 45 minutes either. But that was basically the gist of the situations here. And now we're going to go find out what happens with the rest of the days as OG couples. And then we're going to figure out on decision day who's staying with who, who's leaving with who. We'll see if there's any like trial marriage couples that go together. The only ones I'm really like here for, Megan and Haley. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I am kind of rooting for it. But that also makes me sad because I want Pilar and Haley to stay together. So we'll see. And we'll see how I feel when I find out the answer. And then maybe we'll see if I'm disappointed or if I'm happy, relieved, whatever. We'll figure it out because I'm unsure. But I hope they stay together. I hope they break up. I hope they break up. I hope they break up. I hope they stay together. And I hope they either stay together or break up. I don't know yet. But I hope Haley and Megan maybe get together. Honestly, I could see Mel and Dana staying together. They're just such a... They're toxic. They're so toxic, apart and together. And I just don't love it. But I could see it happening. But we'll have to find out. And you too will find out in 5 to 10 business days whenever I upload part 3, which is the final episodes of the Ultimatum Queer Love. And I am so excited. But thank you all for sticking around for this video. Wish me luck on these episodes, and I'll see you soon. Bye.